Okay, so to mount the drawer faces, I need to know a couple dimensions. I need to know what this is on each side. I need to know what this is on the bottom. Now, side to side, because both drawer sides are captive, it should be the same. So I just want to figure out what the average is, and then I'll set my jig up accordingly. And then I also, like I said, need to know what this distance is from the bottom edge of the drawer to the top edge of the middle rail here, and that'll allow me to set up my jig. My doors and drawer fronts are 1/2 inch overlay, so theoretically this here is 1/2 inch. So my drawer face would overlap this here by 1 inch. And this here is about 3/8 inch. So basically it'd be 3/8 plus 1/2 inch would be 7/8. So I have a 7/8 inch overhang from here to the edge of the drawer. The top doesn't matter because I reference off of one side and the bottom edge. Okay, here's the drawer mounting jig. I call it the Jiggerator. Don't ask me why. I think I just was bored one day. Not really, but anyways, I've got this jig set up so I can use it for different applications, different overlays, different drawer guides, etc. This was originally set up for the epoxy coated side undermount. Actually, they call it a side mount, but they kind of wrap on the underside of the drawer a little bit. It's the Bloom 230M series. Grass also has their version. KV has their own version. Allfit has a version. Mepla, so on and so forth. But anyways, that's what this was originally designed for. And then by just making some various shims, I can set it up to do a different overlay or to use a different drawer guide, for example. In this case here, last time I used this, I made some shims to use it for the Blum Motion undermount soft close drawer slides. And I had to make a shim here to basically move the drawer up off this guide. Then I had to make a shim to stick underneath the side guide so that way it would move the drawer front out for the appropriate overlay. So for this one here, I'm going to have to probably make a couple shims. This side here should be the same, but this one here probably a little bit different. I think I need 7/8. I'm only at about 11/16. So I need to make a 3/16 wide shim that'll go up here that the drawer will butt to, which will give me 7/8 inch from here to the edge of that shim. And I just kind of made myself a little note card just basically explaining as far as what the shims are for and how to use the jig. So someday before I retire or before I die, I hope to take all of my little note cards and notes of it and actually make a book that'll actually help me remember some of this stuff. Just kind of like a shop book that basically gives me some of the real common information that I've developed over the years. That's, you know, the way that I do the stuff in the shop here. So, all right. Okay, so now I should have 7/8 from here to the edge of here. Within a 64th of an inch, so that'll work. So now I'm going to grab a drawer. I'm going to show you how this works. Okay, so I have my drawer front here already finished, and I have a number on here, and I just checked. What I did was when I cut these out, I don't know if you saw me earlier when I was cutting out the drawer fronts, I actually made some marks on the ends, so probably like an X or XX or O, so forth. And the idea of that is to mark that these are cut in pairs. So when you put it together, the grain flows from one drawer front into the other. Just kind of a personal touch. So anyways, I just confirmed which way this drawer front goes. This is the bottom. It's kind of got this wild cathedral here on the bottom edge. So the way this works, take this, that piece, slide this into position, set this. Okay, one little trick I learned here. Well, actually, I think I knew better. I just didn't take the time to correct it. I decided to put the guides on first just to see how well they fit, but the problem is, let me grab the camera here. If you'll notice, that guide is actually butting up against the jig here and not the drawer box, when it actually should be referencing off the drawer box. But luckily it's the same distance as the shim here, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick the shim in here, pull the drawer back, push the shim up. So now I've basically offset the drawer front enough to accommodate the drawer guide. So now, according to Hoyle, if I measure this, I'm still an inch where it needs to be. And just for entertainment, I'm still an inch as well, so we're good. Now for one more last bit of entertainment, I want to make sure that the distance from here to the top edge of here is 7/8, which it is. So we should be good to go. I should be able to screw this drawer front to the drawer box. Now, I'm kind of getting ahead of myself here, but we got one more thing to do here on this drawer before I can actually screw it to the box. So what I've done here is just taken the time to mark out a couple of marks to make a couple pilot holes. And what I did was I measured the depth of the drawer from the inside to the top edge. In this case it's 3 1/4 inches. So it was, I divided that by 2, which is 1 5/8. And I marked down 1 5/8 from the top down to here. Then I came in 2 inches. I'm going to pop in 2 special screws that I'll show you very shortly that actually hold this drawer front and allow me to adjust the drawer front if need be. So first I'm just going to use an 1/8 inch drill bit. Now the next drill bit I'm not going to show you because I will show you here, but I'm going to explain to you a little bit about it. The whole idea of these method here that's widely used in the furniture and cabinet industry is to drill a large enough hole so that way you can mount the drawer front, and if need to be adjust the drawer front in the field, whether your guides are off or the cabinet's crooked or whichever, you can shift the drawer front around. So to do that, I use a 5/16 drill bit. Now you might be thinking, wow, that's awfully big. Well, really it's not that big because the screw is about 1/8 of an inch, and this here will allow you approximately 3/16 of an inch adjustment. So because I don't typically make a 1/2 inch drawer box, I didn't have the right screws, so I actually had to get some from Rockler's, and they're really no different than the screw I got, but they're a different length. I always use an 1 1/4 inch screw because I have a 3/4 inch drawer box and a 3/4 inch drawer front, and that'll give me 1/4 of an inch from coming through the front. Well, because this is only a 1/2 inch drawer, if I use a 1 1/4 inch screw, I run the risk of possibly peeking through the front. So I had an option of getting 1 inch or 1 1/8, and I was actually able to find some 1 1/8. But here's the screw. This is what they call a drawer front adjuster screw, or a drawer front adjusting screw. Basically, it's just a washer head screw that's got like a number. This could be a number 8 screw, possibly, maybe a number 7. And it's got a combo drive, and it's got this big washer behind the head. So making sure that I'm up against the jig and the drawer box is against where it's supposed to be, I'll take a small Vicks bit and just make a pilot hole just briefly. And then I use a 3-inch long number 2 square drive. Once again, make sure I'm up against the jig. There we go. Starting to look like a cabinet.